Want to know how I make money creating apps? In this series, I'll show you how I turn a simple idea into a profitable product, from brainstorming, designing, and developing, all the way to presenting and selling. Whether you're a developer or just curious, stick around and I'll take you through every step. It all started with a simple observation at a coffee shop. I saw an opportunity and knew an app could fill the gap. I took that idea and began designing, turning thoughts into visuals, and planning every screen and interaction. Next, I jumped into development, writing the code that brings the design to life, creating an app that's both functional and user-friendly. Testing and refining the app was crucial. I made sure everything worked perfectly, ironing out any bugs and optimizing the experience. With the app ready to go, I focused on the final touches, creating appealing screenshots and preparing a pitch that would win over any business. Now, it's time to take this app to the coffee shop owner and pitch my product. This is the moment where all the hard work pays off. So, if you've ever wondered how to turn your app ideas into income, follow my journey from start to finish. Let's dive into the world of app development and see how it's done. There I was, a developer without a job, staring at my screen, waiting for inspiration to strike. I knew how to build an app, but I just didn't have the right idea. I needed to find a spark, something that could ignite my creativity and set me on a path to success. I decided to take a break, clear my mind. I thought, what better place to think than a coffee shop? A calm, relaxing spot where ideas could flow as freely as the coffee. I pulled out my phone and searched for the top coffee shops around me. I needed somewhere with a great atmosphere, somewhere people loved to go. I found one, a place with high ratings and fantastic reviews. Perfect, I thought. This is where I'll find my inspiration. The moment I stepped inside, I knew this was the place. It had everything. A great vibe, wonderful coffee, and a steady stream of happy customers. But then, I noticed something. Despite their popularity, they didn't have a website or an app. And that's when it hit me. What if I could create an app for this coffee shop? They already had the trust, the customer base, and the great service. All they needed was an app to showcase it all. So, I got to work.
Now that I have the idea, I can proceed with the design, and for the design I have to take pen and paper and write down how many pages my application will have. For every screen I have to draw a rough sketch how it will look and how the content should be aligned. I will start by writing, because if you write you will get more idea. First, I know that I will have a home page. Next, I want to have the coffee shop location and user can find the coffee shop in Google Maps. So I will have Google, and one page I want to include for favoriting the coffee from list of coffees. For now, I only have these 3 pages in mind, and later on if we get some more ideas I will add it. So I will go to Google and type in coffee app UI design and open some links from here, and I will scroll down and see which one do I like. This one looks better for the coffee detail, so I'm gonna save this image for later reference. So for homepage, I think I can get the same thing here for popular coffees. It will be horizontally scrollable, and the special offer, it will be vertically scrollable. And at the top, instead of this notification, we will have the search, we will have the profile, the logo of our application. And down here, we will have homepage, we will have the favorites, and we will also have the Google Map location that user can find the store location from the Google Map. For detailed page, I think this one is nice. We will have a bigger picture of coffee, back button, favorite, size of coffee, description, and price. That's all. Now let's start with our application. Now that we have some idea for our design, I can simply close all these tabs and open this folder right here. I will open CMD and type in Flutter. After creating Flutter project, we can open Visual Studio Code. And from here, we can choose our folder, select folder, and it will open Flutter project. We can go to lib, and inside the main we can clear everything. So these are basic Flutter coding. If you don't have any idea about Flutter and you have never programmed before, I suggest you to watch the beginner tutorial, which is around 1 hour. There I explained everything which is important in Flutter, and that will help you to make an application from scratch. And if you watch that video, you will not face any problem in this video. Now I'm gonna use ChatGPT to design my application. First, I want to have the bottom menu bar that will show 3 icons of home, location, and favorite. So I'm gonna type in here now. If I copy paste everything in the ChatGPT, it should give me the working code. Alright, I just copied and pasted. Now let me run and see if there is a menu or not. Okay, I had to restart the PC, but now it's running, and you can see the design is perfect. We have our home page, we have location, we have favorite. Now on click of this, I want to open different pages. So for that, I will first create the folder for different pages like home page. Inside there, I will have a file called home page.dart, location.dart, and similarly for favorites. And inside each of them, I will write a simple stateless. I will create the same thing for every other pages. Alright, we have our pages separate. Now I will tell ChatGPT to open the pages according to what we click. Alright, the code is generated, and you can see here we have the routing already defined for location, favorites, home. Down here we have the code for home page, but the problem is this bottom navigation bar is repeated in every page. This is home page, and again we have the same bottom navigation in location and favorite also. I'm thinking of creating a layout page, and inside the layout I will have the scaffold, I will have the menus, and the scaffold body will be replaced with the page that we are gonna call. So let me give the prompt to the ChatGPT and see if it can create something like that. Perfect. I think this is exactly what I needed. I can copy this and go to VS Code. Here inside the lib, I will create a layout.dart, and inside here I will paste the code, and we can import our own files. You can see here we have got scaffold, and we're calling different pages on click of different icons. One thing that we have to change inside our home, we don't need scaffold because we already have it inside our layout. So I will remove it from here. That's it. And I will copy the same thing to favorites and also to the location. Now inside the main also we have to call layout instead of my app because we don't use my app. Now I can simply remove the entire my app, and in the top call layout. Now if I restart the entire application, everything should be fine. I think I have to stop and run it again. So we have this error, and it says that scaffold should have the ancestor. If you can see here in the layout, we have scaffold, but we don't have the material app. Let me add it here. Now if I restart the application, it should work perfectly fine. Awesome. So we have our application, and if I click on the location, it will take me to the location page, and if I click on favorite, it will take me on favorite. And the benefit of this is that we have our pages separately, and we can write the code separately for every page. So now let's write the code for our home page. Okay, for the homepage design, I will have one column as we did before. Let's have this much. First, I will have the text for today's offer, then horizontal list view, which will be scrolled from left to right. And then I have the popular text, which is the text only, and then vertical list view with having 2 items, which means 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. Let me give this to ChatGPT and see what it can generate us. Alright, so it has finished generating, and it has given us the scaffold and app bar, which I did not ask, so I have to copy from the single child scroll view up to here and then paste this entire thing right here. And if I save it, let's see the result. This is exactly what I want, but I will have one app bar but not here. In the layout, I will add my app bar. Now it looks nice. Later on, we will add the search feature also, but for now, let's focus on this. I want this one to be bigger. So alright, now it looks better. Let's have the card design for our coffee. So I would like to have something like this, a coffee image and then title and a short description, price, and instead of this button, I will have the favorite button. So let's write that. Alright, so it has generated as this separate widget that we have to create a separate file for this, and this is called coffee item card. We can go ahead and inside our home page we can create a new folder called widgets, and inside here I will paste it. Now if I save it and down here, let's see how it is called. So we can copy this sized box, and in the home page instead of this sized box we can paste the new one, import the coffee, we can save it, and let's see what else is here. Nothing else, so we can restart the application and see the result. Alright, it seems nice. It is what we want, and there is some overflow that we can increase the height. Instead of 2, I will use 1.5 to make it bigger, and now it looks nice. And I did not even check the code for this coffee card. It has generated everything as I explained, and the good part of having our widget separate is anytime I can change the design for widget in one place and it will be changed in all the places that we are just calling it. If I can copy this coffee and I paste it right here, and if I save it, it should have the same design. It looks nice, but don't like this extra space. We have spacer here, so let me remove this spacer. It is using padding for every content here, for every text. I can use this padding in the parent widget, and we can remove it from here. If I save it, this is the result, and now I can add padding to the container. You can see there's white space around the image, and I don't want that because it doesn't look good. I want the image to be full size, so I can simply remove the padding from here, and right here we have image. If I save it, it should remove padding from everywhere. Right after here, I can wrap them inside a column, and now I can give the column a padding, and then I can copy all the title, store, description, and the price and everything inside the column, which will have the padding. Now if I save it, we should have padding for the content only, and the image is not having any padding. Here also I have to align the column item to left. Now it looks fine. Alright, so let's improve the card design a little bit. I want to make this shadow a little bit more dark, and it is not visible here at all. Also we have to add a space between these cards. We can simply wrap this card with a row and add a size box. If we save it, you can see we have that nice space between the cards. Now we have to add the shadow. We have the shadow, but we have to increase the density. Right here we have the opacity to 0.2. I will make it 0.5. You can see here it increased the density, but at the top also it increased, but the bottom we don't have much space, so in the list view we have to add a padding of, now the shadow is visible. This is cool. I want to increase the height of this image a little bit more to 150 maybe. 150 looks good. Now I have to increase the height of this container also to 300. This one looks fine. Now the bottom container also I have to increase the height, which is this one. This looks nice. Now we can simply replace these images with their actual images. Now I will find some cool coffee images that will be replaced here. I need some 10 images that can be replaced here, so let me search for the coffee images. Alright, we are back, and I have collected this many coffee images. All of them are AI generated. From this I will choose 10 different images that will give better feel and look into our application. I'm gonna create a new folder called images. I'm gonna drop all of it, and now I will rename it from 1 to 10. Before I rename all of them, I noticed that some of them is having JPEG and PNG extension, so I have to make all of them PNG. To do that, rename all of them from 1 to 10. Now I can include these images from the PubSpec YAML, and name of this should be small. In the home page, in the image, I will pass And also here, instead of network image, I'm gonna use asset. Now I have to restart the application because I did changes in PubSpeak YAML. I forget to provide the extension for the image. Here I can provide .png. Now if I save it, it will take the images from our asset. Also, I will do the same with the upper list. You can see we have our coffee images. This looks perfect. I want to increase the radius for this card, and also the font for description should be a little bit bigger and well defined. To do that, I will first increase this border radius to 15 and also this one to 15. Now it looks a little nice. Now for the description, I have to change font color to black. Okay, now it looks nice. Next, I want to fix this favorite button. And to do that, I will copy the entire code and give it to the ChatGPT. Let's see if it can do it or not. And then also copy the home page. Okay, it has generated the code and I think it should work. Let me copy the code for homepage and I will paste it into homepage. I will also copy this coffee detail, paste it right here. I need to include this. Next, we have to also add the package for this because the ID will be stored in the shared preference and every time we open, it will store and fetch the coffee ID. Save it, close it. Now I will rerun the application and hopefully the favorite button works with all the features, and if it didn't work, we will try to fix it. I have not checked the code yet. I just copied whatever ChatGPT has given me. So let's see if it works or not. Alright, application is running and if I click this button, it should favorite. You can see it is working. We have coffee 1 here and here also, and it works fine. If I favorite coffee 2, it should favorite, and if I click again, it should unfavorite. I think with this, our homepage is ready. Now we have to design our detail page, which on click of this icon, it should open the detailed description of this coffee as we had our design here. It should show the bigger image of coffee, the name and more description, size of coffee and price. We can also add it to favorite from here, visit this store. So let's do this. Let's go with detail page, and for this I will also type the code in ChatGPT and it will generate us everything. So let's get started. In the home page I will create another page and inside here I'm gonna first import. So let me write from the top. Alright, it has generated the code for detail page, but you can see it is writing everything manually, like coffee, title and price. I will just type that, take these ones as a parameter. Okay, it's done. We can copy this detailed page and paste it here. It has also given us the updated code for homepage. Now I can come down here and on click of gesture detector, I will copy this part, wrap this row with gesture detector and paste the on tab. Same thing, I'm gonna have to wrap this with gesture and on tab. Save. Now if I restart the application and click any item, it should open this detail page. Everything is fine except the size, that we don't have the size right here. So let's find some PNG images for coffee size as we have in this image. So I like this one. I will download this, and I like this one and this one. So I will download them in JSON format, and we will use the package of Loti to access these JSONs into our Flutter application as well. We can use this package to use those JSONs inside our Flutter application. I will add it here. You can simply copy this line instead of our asset image in here. Now I will tell the ChatGPT to increase the size from small to large. Hopefully it will understand. Perfect. I think this code will work. I can simply replace this and now I can run the application once again. Now if I click on any item, it is showing the item sizes, but it is too small and I want it to be a little bit bigger. So let's describe it to ChatGPT. I think now the size is looking good, and I want to make this button green, and I don't want to use button widget, and instead of this I want to use container and give it a green color. So let's describe this to ChatGPT. This looks so perfect, exactly what I wanted. Here, instead of choose size, I can write in select size for better visual. And this image should take full width and height here, and we don't need app bar. Instead of app bar, I will add this button on top of image and one icon for favorite here also. I will first remove the app bar. Let's also remove the padding from body. It will look like this, and I will add the padding to all these childs, so I can simply create one column, and then I can cut all these contents inside the column. Now for this column, I will add the cross-axis alignment as a start. Now it looks perfect, and here I will increase the size a little bit by 2.5. It should take more size. I will give this code to ChatGPT to add curves in the bottom of the image, also 2 icons in the top. I can now copy this and paste it instead of the container. This looks really cool now. On top of this favorite icon, I should implement the same features that we have done in the homepage. So I will ask ChatGPT if he remembers that feature. Okay, this has given us the same logic that we have in our homepage. I think it is repeated. I will ask ChatGPT again to pass the method from homepage. Here, simply call it. I think this has messed up a lot of things. I have to copy only this part of function to here, and we called it on gesture detector right here in the home page. I can simply pass some extra. So we have to copy the same stuff down here also, because we added some extra parameters. If we save everything and restart the application, if I click on coffee detail, it should have this button, and on click of this button it should turn red. It is adding it to favorite, but it is not changing the color. Let's say it is coffee 3. It is not favorited, but if I click it, it will be favorited, but it's not changing color right here. So we have to tell ChatGPT that if it is favorited, you should change the color. Now it looks nice. You can see our coffee is favorited. This coffee number 2 is also favorited. If I click, it should unfavorite from here as well as from there. I click unfavorite and favorite. So this works fine. We have to also add the search feature in the home page. So in the home page, I will copy the code to ChatGPT and say that implement the search feature. So let's copy all the code and give it to ChatGPT. Alright, it's finished, and I think it has given us an extra page for searching. You can see coffee search. So let me copy everything, and I will divide it in the VS Code. Paste everything in the home page, and here I will divide this. I will create a separate page for this one. And also we have this model that I will create a separate folder for models here and paste it here. And now I can import that in home page. In the search, I also need to import coffee and detail page. All the errors solved. Now let's run the application and see the result. Alright, you can see that we have this search button right here, and we have double app bar. In the home page we do not have scaffold, but it has added the scaffold for us. We can move that to layout page later on, but let me first check the feature of search. If I click on search, it will open this page which has all the coffees, and if I search by coffee 1, it will filter, and if I search the price of $4.99, it filters. So the filtering is good, but I want this item to look nicer. I want the same design of card in the search also. So let's tell the ChatGPT to change the item's design to the same coffee card. I've given this search feature in a completely new chat, and I forget to change it to old chat because here knows about our previous design. So I will click here and paste, and now if I say implement it should understand what coffee card I'm talking. So we have the code. Let me copy and paste it and see how the result looks in the search. This is the correct way to pass is favorite and on favorite toggle. I can copy that and paste it right here, and copy the same thing and paste it here also. And for detail page, I will see how we did it in home page. Copy this and paste it in here, save it, should be fine. We have our coffee page here. If I click on search button and I search for the price of $9.99, and if I click this, we're getting this error of future void is not of type of int. So the problem seems to be in this method. I can simply add an arrow, and now it says function is not of type function integer. I can add an integer here, and if I save it, it should bring me the detail page. And right here also we can see it's favorited. We can unfavorite from here, and it should be fine here. If you go back, it is unfavorited from here also. Now we have to take care of this double app bar and we're good. So in the home page we have this app bar and scaffold that we didn't want it. So if we copy this whole entire code from home page to layout page, I think it should be fine. Cut this part of action into our layout page and see what will be the problem. So if we do this, we also have to copy this IDs, toggle button, and so much more. I will remove the app bar from here. We will add the app bar in every page that we use. In this case, I will keep it in the home page. So in the home page we have this app bar, and in other pages I will add their own scaffold and app bar as well. Let's make this app bar center. Now it looks nice because on left side I want to add the logo. I like this one, and I want this to be shown right here, and it should be animated also. If I save it, it should look like this, and it's not clickable, so I will convert this to icon button and see how that will look. Icon button is having extra padding, so I will remove it again. This looks nice now, and let's make the font for app bar bold, and let's see how it looks. Alright, that's perfect. I think the homepage is almost ready, but one thing that I don't like is when I press like here, it also changes here. It's kind of repetitive. I want to change the icon for this. I want to add arrow. If we click, we simply go to detail of this coffee. Alright, we have the code. Now let me copy this and create a new file for the top bar for this part of the card. I'm gonna create another widget. So I want this button to be right beside the description. I can remove this, paste here, and then I will cut everything from here, and I will create a row. They should be in the same row. Now this button also should be something else. I want this to be modified. It looks okay, but the button size is too big. I want to make it smaller. I think I have to just decrease the padding and keep a size box for this one with width of 8, and the same size box after gesture detector, just to make it a little bit to left side. Alright, this seems perfect to me, and if later on I wanted to change, I will do some changes, but for now it looks nice. If I click, I will get this detail page, and everything is fine. Now before I move to the map page, I would like to do the favorite, because favorite will look something like this, but it will not have this search bar, and it will only show the items which is favorited. Let's copy this and give it to ChatGPT so that it will generate us the code. Alright, we have our code, and this is the favorite page. I will copy and paste it. Up here we have shared pref helper, which it has created as a separate class for managing the shared preference. This is actually good. I will copy it. I will save it, and now if I come to here and I can import that. Above that we have this coffee.dart model, which is already available inside our homepage. You can simply import that, but here it's using static data. I was expecting it to fetch it from shared preference. Let's see if we have the method. So it has created the method here, but it's not calling it. Let me call it and see if it works or not. So there's a problem with this logic, and this right here is fetching all the coffees IDs, which is stored in shared preference, which is fine, but this one is fetching some static data which is passed right here. I don't want this. I want this data to come whatever is favorited from the home page. But the problem is, in home page we do not add the entire coffee detail. We only add the coffee ID like this, and this only adds the ID. So instead of this, I will add the entire coffee detail. I will manipulate that, and since we have our logic of shared preference in a separate file, I will do the changes here. While adding, I don't want to add only coffee ID. I will say manipulate this to add the entire coffee detail. Now this one is correct. Let me copy and paste everything here, and in the coffee we don't have this from JSON and to JSON. We also have to modify our model of coffee, so we find this model and paste it. Now in the favorite also here we have to modify this, so I'm gonna give this code again and do the changes. Alright, this has updated the code. Now let me copy the entire thing and paste it here. Hopefully we don't have any error. Let's see what it has done. While loading favorite coffees, it fetches from this, which will return list of coffee, and it seems fine. It seems just fine. Let me restart this. I just have to call this page in the layout. It says no favorite coffees yet, so I will go and make this a favorite, and this one also. Let's see if it doesn't show anything while we have some favorite items here. It's probably because in the home page we still add coffee ID only. So I'll give this code also to update with adding the entire coffee detail instead of coffee ID. Perfect, it has finished generating. Now let me copy this and see if this works or there's still some problem. This is still using the coffee ID instead of what I have told it to do. Now everything is fine. Let's restart and see, and hopefully it should work. Okay, the app is restarted. If I press this button, it should favorite, and it should be favorite here also. And if I go to favorite items or favorite coffees, yes, it is working. If I favorite the coffee number 3, it will show coffee number 1 and coffee number 3. Now I will go to favorite page and add some padding here. This looks nice now, but it needs some space after the coffee, and after column I will say size box. It should be fine now. Perfect. Let's add some more coffee into favorite and see if the scroll is working as expected. So it's working, right? If we press here, it should unfavorite and it should remove coffee number 3, remove it from favorite. And if we go to home page, coffee number 3 should not be in favorite. Yes, it's working. Now favorite page is done, home page is done, and we can proceed with map or location page. Now it's time to work on map, and to do this, let's go to the location.dart, and here I will write the prompt for the ChatGPT to implement this for me. I can copy this and give it to ChatGPT here, and also I have to search Google Map Flutter. I'm gonna say use this. So we got the code. It's using the Google Map Flutter. Let's get the latest version from here into the pubspec YAML. Also, we require the URL launcher to open Google Map using Flutter, so I will also add this one and save it. We also need to add our API key in Android and iOS like this, so I'm gonna do this for Android real quick. So we just need Google Map API, and for that you have to also provide the payment method, which is something that Google will force you to do. I have the payment method for this account, and if you search for Map SDK here, it is already enabled and I can use it. After enabling this, you can come back, and here in credential, in API key, you can click on show and copy this API key and come back to your Android Studio. Go to the Android manifest. You can copy this one inside the application. You can paste it and then replace this with your API key. We can save it. You can also do this for iOS. Right now I'm not testing for iOS, so I will ignore this step. Then we have to copy this new code provided for location page. Now we also need to install location package to get the current location for the user. Click on it, copy, and then come back to pubspec YAML, paste it and click save. Alright, now errors are gone. Let's see what is happening here. First, on init state, it gets the current user location, which is get location, and then it sets it to the current position. So let's run this and see if this works or not. So there is some problem with Kotlin version. I think the Google map is not matching this version. So let's check it where we can find it. In build.gradle, we don't have any Kotlin version. It's just using Kotlin Android. So we can check here. There's no version for Kotlin. I think this one should be the Kotlin version. Let me search the latest Kotlin version. Latest one is 2.0.20. If I copy this and paste it instead of this one and save it, now if I run, it should be fine. Alright, changing Kotlin version to the latest worked, and now we have our application running. So it does work. We have Google Map here, and if I press this button, it should take me to the address that I have provided. So if I click this, it should open Google Map and get direction from my current location to that address. It works fine. This is what I wanted. So here in the destination, I will provide the coffee shop address, and then the user which uses our application, they can click on this button and they will be redirected from their current location to the coffee shop address, and they can visit there. That's the point. So a little bit change to this UI. I want to remove that plus button, and also I want to change this button color and shape. Let's remove this, make it false and save it. It should remove that button. Now I will say that make this rounded and blue color. It gives us this shape which is still rectangle. I can increase this to something 45, which will be rounded. Now it looks nice. So everything is perfect till here, except this bottom menu. It's not looking as good as it should, because our application should be visually appealing, and when the customer sees our application, they should like the appearance, because it's not having much functionality. So let's see for some bottom navigation bar for Flutter if there is some packages. This is animated. Let's use it and see how this one works. I copied this example from the animated package itself, and it is really good one. It looks nice. I just want to increase the radius to 28 or something, which will look better. So if we click here, location will come like this, and also the favorite one will show like this. All the feature is done. Let's see where we can improve the application further. So I'm thinking of adding another page on click of this, where we will be adding the social media profiles of the coffee shop. So let's do that. Okay, for the profile, let's create a new file and then design that using ChatGPT. Now let's copy this and give to the ChatGPT until it generates. Let's find the icon for the Facebook and so on. Okay, I got the icons for social media and I put them in the folder. Now let's see what ChatGPT has given us. I will copy the entire code and paste it here. And for the profile.png, let's see which image we can use. Let's see how this one looks. Also, I have to implement the on click for this button. Now on top of this logo, it should open the profile page, but before I have to restart the application. Now if I click this logo, it should open this page, but it seems that it's not finding profile.png. Let's see, it is profile.jpg, so I have to go to the profile and make the extension right. So it is okay, but I have to make the background blurry and add space to the items and make them a little bit bigger. Also change the font to white. So let's copy everything to ChatGPT and alright, let's copy this new code and see if I save it. It looks nice, but there's an extra space. Here we have sized box, which is not required. I can remove it. This looks okay, but there are a few changes that I want to do. First, there's no back button. I have to add app bar, but without background color. Second is I want to remove this text because the logo represents what we are opening, and also add a little bit background or transparent background for the items also. So let's instruct the ChatGPT again. Hopefully this is the last change that we are getting. Let's copy and see the result. So this looks nice. This is what I wanted. The box for every item is looking perfect, and I want to remove this profile title. I don't need it. Now the arrow icon is not visible. Let me change that. So this looks perfect, but the background is too dark and we cannot see the X logo here. Let's see if we can decrease the transparency a little bit. It makes it too dark, so let's make it 1. Still it's not visible. Let me make this white instead of black. This is fine. Now let's move the X to the top and it will be visible better. This is still not visible properly, so let me search for a better image and I will come back. Now going back is not working because this one should be icon button. Now if I go back and come back to this page, it should show this. Instead of location, I think I will type in visit us. So on click of this, nothing happens, but I will open this Facebook page, Instagram page and YouTube page, and on click of this we can open the same shop location in Google Maps. So let me give the command to the ChatGPT and it will do the job. So it works fine, but every time I click on this it opens the browser and then the computer runs out of memory and I had to restart the computer. Even though I changed the device, I thought it's because of the emulator, but it gets out of memory and I had to restart. But it really works. Now our application is ready. The map is working, the search feature is working, we have our items, we can see the detail here. Let's do some improvements to our homepage. I want to add the quantity and size. If I select different size, the price should be changed according to the selected size. If we increase the quantity, the price should be multiplied by the base price. And to do that, we can go to detail and copy the entire code. Awesome, this looks perfect. If I increase the quantity, it should increase the price also and should not be less than 1. Nice. If I choose small coffee, it is 3.99. If I choose medium, it is 4.99, and if I choose large, it is 6.99. I did not even check the code, but everything is perfect, so I will not check the code. So now our application seems ready and perfect. The only thing that is remaining is splash screen. So let's find some animated logo for our application that will be loaded and shown in the splash screen. Okay, for the splash screen, I can go to layout and copy the entire code and paste it to ChatGPT. Alright, it's done generating, and I was thinking to add this splash screen effect in the layout, but it has created me a separate page. Now I have to call and create this file, import the layout, and now I can call the splash screen from the main instead of layout. And now if I run the application again, let's also try the size 2 and size 3 and see which one looks perfect. Let's use the 3 and see how is this one looking. So I prefer the first one. Let me save it and restart. Nice, it has that smiley face also. So our application is complete now, we can say. This floating action button is not showing here, and I guess it's because this bottom menu and it's overriding our floating action button here. So I can give this code to ChatGPT and it will convert this button into a position container. Now we can copy this code and the floating action button will show as it was before. We have to give this a little bit more. It is there, but it's not visible, so I can give it like 60. Now it's visible, and if we click it, it should also open Google Maps. It's not showing our current position. It should show something like dot or pointer that we are located here current. Let's see how ChatGPT can solve that. So here ChatGPT misunderstood our point and it thinks that we want the current location. There's a button. If we press it, it will get our current location, but we don't want that. We just want a pointer or marker in the map. So let me tell it again. All right, I think this one should work. If I go to code and paste everything and save it, it should add marker to the map, but I think I have to open this page again. So this is our location, and if we press this, it will take us to the shop location. We have favorites. Let's see if favorites is working. We want to favorite some items here. We want to favorite, and if we come here, all the favorite items are here, and our profile works, our search works. All right, everything works. Now let's take some screenshot from different pages, and then we can create a mock-up and presentation so that we can take our presentation to the client and different coffee shops and show them that this is how your application will look, and finally we get the deal, right? So let's get some screenshot of different pages, but before that I have to remove this debugger label because it will not look professional. I'm gonna make it false and it should go away. I have to restart also. Alright, now I can take some screenshots from home page, and then from detail page I will increase the quantity and the size. So now we have to create a one-page presentation that will contain all of these screenshots, and when we go to the coffee shop we should be able to explain the flow. These are the features. We have to make our presentation as easy, as clean as it can, because this is the most important part. How you present your product is very important. So to start, I'm gonna make the corners a little bit round because a rounded corner look more clean. This one looks more professional. Now I can download all of them as a zip. Alright, it's time to open Photoshop and use these screenshots to create a presentation for our application in a single page so that we can print it and go to a coffee shop and present our idea. So let's open Photoshop now. In Photoshop I choose A3 page and then make it landscape, and then I bring all the screenshots that I have. Then I change the background color for this A3 page. Notice that I don't choose too much dark color because if you print that in a paper, it should not look weird. Then I aligned my screenshots in a proper way from the first screen to the last screen. And then write down some point-wise benefits to the customer so that it will catch their attention. It will also help us to present better. Although we will explain these points to the customer, but it is better to write them also. Adding a verified icon will strengthen these points more, and the customer will believe that it is something trustworthy. And also I've added the Play Store button, which is something which brings more trust to the customer that you can find your application in the Play Store. And finally we can export this as a PNG and print it out for presentation.